Aloha guys, and welcome back. I'm Cameron and this is the Solo Garage. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how you can restore your brake calipers and go from something that looks like this into this. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to get these things tore down and prepped for paint. One of the first things we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to get these pistons out of here. And it can be dangerous, but for me, I think it's quite a bit of fun. So here I have this block of wood, some scrap plywood that I had. I'm gonna fit it in there, and then what we're going to do is we're gonna take our air compressor, turn it on, Alright guys, so now that we finally have this thing totally tore apart, all the pistons are out, you want to kind of inspect them, make sure that there's not like severe pitting. If there's severe pitting on these, then you can't reuse them. The whole point is that they create a seal with your square O-ring in here, and essentially, you know, the brake fluid pushing back and forth on it, it expands that O-ring, and then the O-ring contracts back to its original position. But if it can't create a seal because there's pitting and rust, then you can't reuse them. So I think with a Scotch-Brite pad and a little bit of elbow grease, that these will be totally fine. So I think we're good when it comes to the pistons here. I'm not seeing any kind of major pitting. A lot of it just looks like kind of surface rust. Nothing that can't be fixed. Feeling it. I'm not feeling any like indentions or anything. So I think we can clean those up. The next part is going to be actually cleaning these up. I would recommend letting these soak overnight. I already did that. It might have even helped with the pistons, letting them sit in some degreaser overnight. So this is the most time-consuming portion of this, is just getting all of this gunk and stuff on here. So what I used was this microfiber cloth here, my vise, and then a wire wheel set up on my drill, and it makes things relatively easy. It's still time consuming, so let's go ahead and get these things cleaned up. Well, unfortunately, I think that is all that we are going to be able to do with the wire wheel. A lot of these places in these nooks and crannies, it can't reach, it can't get there. So we're gonna have to go over it with a Scotch-Brite pad or sandpaper or something to try and get the rest of, you know, this dirt and debris off, and this caked on just brake dust over who knows how many years. Alright guys, so I am pretty happy with this. We got pretty much all of the old caked on junk, just, it's gone. I mean, I think a lot of what helped was letting this sit in degreaser overnight. Now that it's all cleaned up, we got to wipe it down and then get it prepped for painting it. So what we're gonna do is we're actually going to do a base coat of like high heat paint, and it's gonna be black. And you can get it at AutoZone, Walmart, just about anywhere. It's relatively cheap, but yeah, we need to get this prepped for a base coat of black. Caliper, and it is pretty much ready to go. We got our tape, it's all nice and cleaned up, sanded up, all that, good to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna rig it up on these strings, and then I'm gonna put tape around it on the end here, and then kind of push it through, and that way it'll be tension fit on these right here. So we have 4 base coats down of the black. You do like a first mist coat, not 100% coverage, and then what you're gonna do is do 3 heavy coats on it afterwards, and then let it dry. You're gonna do about 10 to 15 minutes in between each coat. Let it dry a little bit, get it tacky, and then respray your next coat. So now that we're dry and we're ready to start spraying our clear, this is where the fun stuff happens, where the magic color shift stuff happens, and it's just, I think it's absolutely awesome. So what you're gonna need is some clear coat. You can go to AutoZone and they sell a quart ready to spray for, I think it was like $32. And then you have CustomPaintingPearls.com. They have this on sale right now for $5 for 25 grams. And all you need is 1 to 1.5 tablespoons per quart. And you can barely even tell that I've used anything out of this for my quart of clear. So let's go, guys. Alright guys, so what you might have noticed with that first coat is that I'm not being super thick on it. I'm just kind of misting it once again. Same with spray paint, same with regular paint. You want a little bit of a mist coat for that, so that way the paint has something to kind of stick onto. It's gonna leave like little divots because of the molecules and the particles of the paint, and then it'll give it kind of more of a grittier texture, and then that way when you throw on your heavier coats, it's gonna actually stick to it. So I'm gonna give this about 10 to 15 minutes to kind of flash, and then we'll go ahead and throw on a couple more coats of clear, and that's all just gonna be on time lapse. So let's go, guys. So we have our third and final coat of clear on these things, and they are looking just absolutely sick. So now we need to let these guys dry and fully cure. So we'll leave them hanging up, let them dry out. But I have another one that I already did, and I can show you guys how to rebuild these calipers now that they're nice and painted and just look all kinds of awesome. That is going to do it for today's episode, and I'm really happy with how these came out. All in all, not a difficult process, but I will say that I think where I messed up was I didn't wait long enough in between the painting process and then the rebuild portion. So you can't really see it, but there's a couple of like imperfections and stuff due to that. I'm gonna wait a couple days to let these ones fully cure and dry, and so that's why they're not assembled right now. But also you may have noticed that we didn't put any of the new hardware in. That's because I'm still waiting on the hardware kits, and I don't want to throw rusty old, retainers and stuff in there the way that they are, because I mean, these things look awesome. All in all, super easy process, and I'm really stoked with it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.